Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. And to do that, I review books, movies, plays, podcasts, computer games, whatever I want, basically. And today we're going to be reviewing the 2008 computer game called Spore. And this was published by EA Sports and developed by Maxis, and maybe not EA Sports, EA. The it's in the game, but not it's not a sports not a sports title. Yes, but EA and Maxis are the people behind the Sims franchise. And I have really mixed feelings about this game because when it came out, I was really interested in playing it, but my computer wasn't good enough to play it. So I kind of was like, oh man, I kind of had FOMO, right? I had fear of missing out on it. And, eventually other things came and went, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I don't know, maybe about a year ago or so, I saw that it was on Steam and it was like really cheap, so I picked it up and I installed it on my modern computer, which is not like high-end gaming computer either, but it can run classic games without any problems. And it crashed. It crashed and it crashed, and I was like, "Oh, this is dumb." But I found out now that this game just crashes a lot. That's part of the game. It just crashes a lot, even if your computer is really good or bad. It crashes a lot. What is the actual mechanics of the game? And this is where I have two major problems with the game. There's a pigeon on my window. I have two major problems with the game. One is that so there's different eras, right? You start as this single cell organism and you evolve and you kind of go through different stages. So there's like the cell stage, creature stage, tribe stage, civilization stage, and then I think there's like an intergalactic stage. And each of the mechanics is different slightly. Like it gets like they say the developers of the game said that it's 10 times more complicated each stage. But basically, it's kind of really boring because what you're doing is you are grabbing DNA points either by eating or by finding artifacts, because the game is heavily based on this theory of panspermia where kind of a complicated concept, but basically, if the universe is full of life, then comets and stuff might be able to spread life to planets where there isn't life before. So that's what happens in this game. And then you control like these single celled organisms, and then you eat and you find artifacts from this comet, and that gives you DNA points, which allows you to evolve. So the mechanics basically are quite boring, and they do change like through different stages, but basically it's like gather, improve, gather, improve, gather, improve. So they said that you could finish the game in about 20 hours, but I played the first two stages, and the second stage was incredibly boring. I I did it, but I did it one way with an herbivore, and I was trying to make friends with everybody, but that didn't really work. And the other way, I was playing as a carnivore and I was eating everyone, and that also didn't work. I mean, it worked, but it's like really, really slow. So you'd have to spend like a lot of time doing the same thing again and again and again and again, like mana farming basically, but in this game. So I think the mechanics of the game fundamentally are not fun for me anyway, because by the time you get to the more RTS, like real time strategy parts of the game, you've already spent like 15 hours in game time doing kind of meaningless tasks, and then you have to switch how you play the game. So the concept of the game is really nice and really unique, but I think that the way that they interpreted it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's the other big problem I have with this game, and many scientists also had problems with this game, is that this is not evolution. This is more like intelligent design. So what evolution is, in a very basic level, is you have creatures, and the creature that is best adapted to its environment will survive and make babies and go on, right? And the creatures that are worst adapted to their environment will die out. And through things like random genetic mutation, you'll have creatures that slowly they get born with something that helps them be a little bit better than their competitors. And in Spore, this is not a thing at all, because basically they want you to stay with one species through like these 4 or 5 different stages. And they have been working on, like, this was the big criticism of the game when it came out, is that it's not scientific at all, even though it purports to be the scientific kind of game. And I can kind of see why, because they wanted you to feel like some kind of investment in that one particular species. But I don't know of any games where you can actually play a realistic evolution scenario, but it would be fun if you had, like, you're randomly assigned one little microbe or whatever, and then you play as that microbe, and then you die like a bunch of times, like however you die, and then that microbe randomly gets some improvement, some mutation, and then it gets better. So you could see like and you can follow the path of whatever. And the thing is, like, evolution means that the species, millions of years in the past, they have all of these species that are evolved from them. So it's not just like one species evolves down a line, it's like multiple evolve. So that actually gives you a lot of possibilities of different kind of gameplay that you could do, but this is not present in Spore. As I said, Spore is very, very like mechanistic. And so because the evolution doesn't make sense, the whole game doesn't really make sense. Like in the beginning, you have to choose if you're a herbivore or a carnivore, and you're like a single-celled organism. So that doesn't make any sense, that division, right? Because single-celled organisms aren't really like carnivore, herbivore. It's more like carnivore, plant. because because how, like, a carnivore is going to eat other cells, and it's also going to eat other things that are plants at that level, because we're talking like single-celled organisms. There's no division between carnivore and herbivore on a single-cell level, as far as I know. I'm not like a super, like, I like biology, but it's more like a hobby rather than a profession. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a fundamental mistake about that. So I think like the mechanics of the game make it unfun, and the mechanics of the game also make it boring for the most part in the first couple of stages. And if you finished the first couple of stages and you went on to the other stages, yeah, good luck to you. Like that was an accomplishment, because I was trying to play it on stream, and I was like, oh no, I can't do it. It's just too boring for me. I have to finish this. Then there are other problems with it. Like, I could kind of, like, I think that they've taken the Sims DNA and they put it in this game, which is basically like you can create your own characters. So you kind of create these goofy sort of things, and the attributes that you have kind of don't really make any sense. Like, so in evolution, and this is the main problem of the game, and that's why I keep going back to it. But in evolution, keep going back to it. But in evolution, you can't like suddenly grow limbs without any kind of antecedents. So, for example, mammals and reptiles and land animals have four limbs because the fish that we evolved from had four fins. You know, that's called a coelacanth, I believe, and you can look it up. It has like four fins. So the legs became like the front fin area became legs for most animals, and the back fins became legs for other animals as well. For us, because we evolved a bit differently, the front ones were our arms, and the back ones are our legs because we evolved upright. But in this game, you can like randomly put arms on a creature. Like you can win points and put arms on a creature. Doesn't make a lot of sense, because it says like you're the one of the mechanics is that there's consequence. So whatever you do in the beginning of the game has consequences on the end of the game, but that should be like a big consequence, like how you evolve, what kind of limbs you have. So I don't like that, and I also don't like the cuteness of it. The cuteness of the game is a bit terrifying, actually. And it's terrifying in two aspects. One is that when you want to evolve, you basically call, like, you have this mating button, and then you sound this sound, and then another species, you either go and find another of your species, or another species floats to you in the first level, and there's hearts everywhere, and you do a little dance, and it gets a little bit, I mean, it's not entirely graphic, but it looks like you should give these creatures some space, some piece of their own whatever. So yeah, that's odd. It's discomforting. And the other thing is, like, these are like these cute little creatures, but if you choose carnivore, you have to like attack something with your teeth. So you have this cute animated version of something literally biting off, I mean, you don't see the chunks, but literally biting off chunks of like this other cute little creature. And it would be kind of graphic if you had, like, I don't know, an animated lion eating an animated antelope or something, but I don't think at that moment anybody goes and like, oh, that's cute. That's a cute animal eating another cute animal. It's like uncanny valley disturbing, because when we see a lion eating an antelope, we know what's happening. We can kind of like sympathize with both parties in that, because like, most people eat meat, and most people are scared of lions, so we can emphasize both ways. We don't think, oh, that's so cute, oh my god, what are you doing, it's odd. So I think it was a game with a lot of potential, but it didn't actually achieve that potential. And I think that it didn't achieve the potential because the gameplay is not fun. And if the gameplay was fun, you could kind of forgive the fact that the game is completely unscientific. But I think you could make a fun, scientifically based game of evolution. And if you know of a game like that, put it in the comments. I saw that some people say like No Man's Sky is like that, but I think maybe No Man's Sky is not like that, because you don't start from like a bacterium or something and evolve into, as far as I know, I don't think you do. I think you just land on a planet and start working your way up. Anyway, I didn't like Spore, and that hurts me to say, because I thought that it was a game that I would like, but I didn't like it. So, what do you think about Spore? Did you enjoy the game when you were growing up? Do you enjoy it now? Can you think of any games connected to evolution that might be more fun for me than Spore? Uh, Put it in the comment section down below. And if you like what I do, please please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And if you are, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March, and I think that there's 607 at the moment, so very ambitious goal. Yeah, so if you like that, please subscribe. If you like what I do, please subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give me a follow. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.